What happens to your body when you ignore these 5 warning signs? Most people ignore these 5 warning signs until it's too late. What if your body was trying to warn you about a serious problem right now, but you didn't recognize the signs? What if the symptoms seemed completely harmless? What if the warning signs showed up months or even years before a major health crisis? Why do so many people ignore the signals their bodies send every single day? And why do doctors often say that the most dangerous illnesses aren't the ones that hurt? They're the ones that whisper. Today, we're looking at 5 warning signs millions of people dismiss as normal. But here's the scary part. Many people don't realize their mistake until the damage has already been done. And the 5th warning sign, it's the one experts say people ignore more than any other. Let's begin. Warning sign number 1, constant fatigue. You wake up tired, you drag yourself through the day, you depend on coffee, energy drinks, sugar, anything to stay awake. Sound familiar? Most people blame their schedule, a stressful job, getting older, not enough sleep. Sometimes they're right, but sometimes fatigue is your body's first distress signal. Persistent exhaustion can be linked to nutrient deficiencies, sleep disorders, hormonal imbalances, heart problems, even chronic inflammation. The problem is that fatigue doesn't feel dramatic. It's easy to normalize. You adapt to it. You tell yourself everyone feels tired, until one day you realize you have been functioning at half your potential for years. Your body wasn't being lazy, it was asking for help. And that brings us to warning sign number 2. Warning sign number 2, unexplained weight changes. Imagine stepping on a scale. The number keeps changing, but your habits haven't. You haven't started a new diet. You haven't changed your exercise routine, yet your weight continues moving, either up or down without explanation. Most people focus on appearance, but your body focuses on survival. Unexplained weight gain can point toward hormonal issues, insulin resistance, metabolic dysfunction, fluid retention. Unexplained weight loss can sometimes signal even more serious concerns. The important thing isn't panic, it's awareness. Your body doesn't randomly change course. When something shifts significantly, there's usually a reason, and ignoring that reason can allow small problems to become much larger ones. But the next warning sign is even more common. In fact, millions experience it every day. Warning sign number 3, shortness of breath. Have you ever climbed a flight of stairs and felt more exhausted than you should? Have you noticed yourself becoming winded during activities that used to feel easy? Many people assume they're simply out of shape. Sometimes that's true, but shortness of breath can also be one of the body's earliest warning systems. Your heart, your lungs, your circulation, all work together to deliver oxygen. When that system isn't functioning efficiently, breathing often becomes the first clue. The scary part? The change is often gradual, so gradual that you barely notice. You adjust, you slow down, you avoid certain activities. You convince yourself it's normal until one day it isn't, which brings us to warning sign number 4, the one many people experience almost every day. Warning sign number 4, chronic stress and anxiety. Stress isn't just emotional, it's physical. Every stressful situation triggers a cascade of biological responses. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, stress hormones flood your bloodstream. In short bursts, that's useful. It's survival. But when stress never leaves, the consequences begin to accumulate. Research continues to show connections between chronic stress and heart disease, sleep problems, immune dysfunction, digestive issues, and mental health challenges. Yet many people wear stress like a badge of honor. Busy becomes normal, overwhelmed becomes expected, exhaustion becomes routine. But your body keeps score, even when your mind tries to ignore it. And now we've reached the warning sign experts say is among the most overlooked of all. Warning sign number 5, changes in your bathroom habits. Nobody likes talking about this. In fact, most people would rather discuss almost anything else. But that's exactly why this warning sign is so dangerous. Because embarrassment has a way of silencing common sense. Think about it. If your car suddenly started leaking fluid every day, you'd notice. If your phone battery suddenly lost half its life overnight, you'd notice. But when your digestive system starts behaving, many people simply hope it goes away. They wait. A few days become a few weeks become a few months, and eventually the unusual starts feeling normal. That's where the danger begins. Your digestive system is one of the most complex systems in your body. It's constantly communicating with your immune system, your hormones, your brain, your metabolism. When something changes significantly, your body may be trying to tell you that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. Persistent constipation, ongoing diarrhea, changes in stool appearance, frequent bloating, unexplained abdominal discomfort, blood where it shouldn't be. These aren't symptoms to panic about, but they are symptoms worth paying attention to, because early action can make an enormous difference. Here's something many people don't realize. The body rarely goes from healthy to unhealthy overnight. The process is usually gradual. Tiny changes, small signals, subtle warnings. The problem is that humans are remarkably adaptable. We get used to almost anything. A little less energy, a little more discomfort, a little more stress, a little less sleep. And before we know it, we've adapted to a version of life that's far below what healthy actually feels like. That's why this fifth warning sign is so important. Not because it's the most dangerous, but because it's the one people are most likely to ignore. And ignoring a warning sign doesn't make it disappear. It only delays the moment you finally have to face it. Which leads us to the most important lesson in this entire video. Because these 5 warning signs have something in common, something most people never think about. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your health the same way again. Here's the truth. Your body is performing trillions of processes every single second. Your heart beats without permission. Your lungs breathe without instruction. Your cells repair damage while you sleep. Your immune system fights battles you'll never even know existed. And through all of it, your body is constantly trying to keep you alive. Think about that for a moment. Your body isn't working against you, it's working for you. Every symptom, every sensation, every warning sign, every unusual change, it's communication. The body doesn't send warning signs because it wants to scare you. It sends warning signs because it wants your attention. But in today's world, attention is in short supply. We're distracted, busy, overworked, exhausted. We answer emails while eating lunch. We scroll social media before bed. We power through fatigue. We normalize stress. We celebrate being busy. And somewhere along the way, we stop listening. Not just to our instincts, but to the most advanced survival machine ever created, the human body. That's why the people who stay healthiest often aren't the people with perfect genetics. They're not the people with perfect diets. They're not even the people who exercise the most. They're often the people who pay attention, the people who notice when something changes, the people who ask questions, the people who refuse to dismiss every signal as probably nothing. Because here's the reality. Most serious health problems don't arrive without warning. They arrive after months, sometimes years, of whispers. And the tragedy isn't that the warnings weren't there. The tragedy is that they were ignored. So as this video comes to an end, ask yourself one question. Has your body been trying to tell you something? Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's breathing. Maybe it's weight changes. Maybe it's something you've been putting off for months. Whatever it is, don't let today be another day you ignore it, because the goal isn't to live in fear. The goal is to live with awareness, and awareness is powerful. Awareness creates action. Action creates change. And sometimes a single decision to pay attention can completely change the course of your future. Your body has been speaking to you every day. The question is, have you been listening? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more stories, science, and insights that could help you live longer, healthier, and smarter. And until next time, take care of the one place you have to live for the rest of your life, your body.